Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Well, it is about 6:20, I'm trying to fix this camera, 6:20 p.m. on Wednesday evening. Just got off the phone with my husband, and he is going out to dinner with a girlfriend of his. They are going to Livery. So he asked me, hey, how are you? It's a little colder tonight. You got your coat on? And so he is going out to dinner to Livery. That's my couple that always walks with their standard poodle. They're so sweet. He's going to Livery tonight, and he asked me if I wanted anything, and they have like the most amazing empanadas in the entire world. So I asked for corn and cheese empanadas. So he's gonna bring me those. This friend that he's going out to dinner with, they don't usually have like super long dinners. So he will probably be home by like 8:30 or 9. I can't imagine he'll be home any later than that. And then I think we're gonna watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion tonight, followed up with The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, followed up with American Horror Story. Those are our shows that we're going to watch tonight. So excited about that. If we don't watch all of them, we'll probably watch one of them tomorrow, but probably at least one or two of them tonight. I'm kind of tired right now, which is weird because I went to bed super early last night. So Tanya and I went to the meeting. When I got done with everything last night, it like started... Well, was I vlogging when it was raining last night? It started like... Oh yeah, I was. I showed the rain. Well, it started like pouring down, like thunderstorming. And so when Alex took me over to Tanya's, it was like really, really pouring down rain. So he took me over there, and then Tanya drove to the meeting. And do I hear rain right now? It's like sunny outside, so I'm not going to turn the camera around tonight. So it doesn't look like it's going to rain, but anyway, so I was like, are you okay to see? And she was like, yeah, I'm fine, because it was like really, really hardcore raining. So we went to the meeting. The meeting was good. There weren't tons of people there last night. And my group that I sat in was small. We only had 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 6 of us in there. And one of my friends had a year. Another one of my friends had 30 days, which was awesome. And it was good. It was a really good meeting last night. And talked about like character defects and stuff. And then I came home, and I had leftover pizza, and Alex had already eaten. And he was laying in bed like watching TikToks and stuff like that. So I like hung out in bed with, so Tanya and I always go to the gas station on the way home. And I don't know why this reminds me of my dad, but when I was like a little kid, my dad would, like this was before my parents got separated. My dad would come home from work, and he always like wore a sport coat, you know, like wore a suit. And so he would say, guess what pocket? And I would say, what pocket, Dad? And he would like open his sport coat, and I had to guess if it was like the you know, the front ones or like the inside pockets. And he would always have like a candy bar hidden in there or somewhere. Like not every day, but like a couple times, you know, during the week he would do that. And he would say that he told me that he stopped at the pharmacy in the hospital, and he would get me a candy bar on the way home. So anyway, and that's kind of a sweet memory, isn't it? I don't know why I remember that, but I think it's small things like that. You know, like my mom putting notes, and I know a lot of parents do this, but my mom putting notes like in my lunch, you know, bag or whatever. Like when I rarely took my lunch to school until I was like older, but like in elementary school, I usually bought the school lunch. That would actually be a good story to talk about today. But when I was, like, I got a little bit older, even when I was, like, in junior high, and even in high school, you know, like, if my mom would, like, help me make my lunch, and I would, like, make it and then put it in the refrigerator for the, like, the night before, because in high school, well, I didn't eat great most days. Like some days I would like eat powdered donuts and that would be my lunch or whatever for school. But if I took my lunch, there were like a couple years where I was like insistent on eating like cut vegetables because I was like really like concerned about my weight and things. So, and that was when I had like lost a lot of weight. So I would cut up all the vegetables. I can see it in my head. I had this little like plastic container that was like about that deep. And, I would cut it up and I would, all these vegetables like carrots and celery and stuff. And then I would put it in there. I can't remember what else I would have put. Maybe like a V8 juice or something and like peanut butter crackers. And that would be my lunch. And I can remember I would get to lunch some days and I would like pull the stuff out of like my, you know, like the brown, we would like get those brown paper bags, a package of those. And then there would be like a note in there from my mom and she'd say, I hope you have a good day today. And there'd be like a little smiley face, or like if it was, you know, fall, she'd put like draw like a pumpkin on there or whatever. I still have so many of those notes. You know, my mom would like, even when I was living in an apartment, she would like put little, like if she stopped by and I wasn't there, she would put little notes on the door and stuff like that. I have my special cup with me today that I purchased on eBay or Etsy. Isn't it so pretty? I feel like a Real Housewife with it. Real Housewife of Indianapolis. So so last night I hadn't started watching Dragula yet. And I wanted to watch Dragula and The Patient. And so I sat down. Oh, so anyway, Tony and I always stop at the gas station on the way home. And so I usually get a fountain pop lemonade is what I've been getting because I don't like that much caffeine late at night, and I always have a coffee at the meeting, and they have big cups at the meeting. I know this is gonna sound funny, but like they have these big cups now, like these big styrofoam cups, so I've been getting like a big cup at the meeting. So by the time I leave the meeting, I'm like, I don't need any more caffeine. So we stopped at the gas station and I got like 2 things of Pringles and I got my lemonade and I got 2 things of pepper jack cheese and a little bag of kettle chips. And what else did I get? Oh, and so this is why I'm telling the story. So I always bring Alex like some candy when I come home, and you know he loves sours. I've talked about that before, so I always bring him like some kind of sour candies or something like that. So last night I brought him like jelly lifesavers, jelly somethings, gummies. I don't know what they were. This guy over here is arranging his pumpkin. He must have just carved it because I can see him out there arranging it. And it's right by the ghosty that he's got hanging in front of it. But anyway, so Alex was real excited because he was like, then he started watching some show and he had candy. So I sat downstairs with my I love cold pizza. I was telling Tanya that last night. Her son loves cold pizza too. And she's like, I just think it's so weird. Like, I can't eat cold pizza. And I was like, I prefer cold pizza. Like, I actually like, I don't warm it up. And like Alex always warms it up. Like, I like cold pizza better. So I sat down, but it wasn't that good last night. I have to say, maybe it's because it was Papa John's. I don't know. But I sat, and I'm used to the Jets pizza, but I sat down and I still ate it. I ate the cold pizza, and I started watching Dragula, the first episode, and I got halfway through. I have to say, I really hate saying this because I'm really excited about this season, but I wasn't super excited when I saw who the cast was. The cast just is not... Is that my neighbor across the street? But no, it's garbage can. No. There's a few people on there that I really like Eva Destruction and Astrid, I think is her name. And then Abora, I really like. And Hoso, this was on the last season, Hoso Terotomo or something like that. I can't pronounce her name, but fantastic. And was like at top 4, I believe, and came off of just doing the tour. Because they were saying, like, do you really think you're prepared to be on the show after just being, you know, on the tour? Because they do like a world tour. And so I guess it's 4 people. But like, other than that, like, I wasn't really like that excited about the cast. And I remembered them all, like, from watching. I mean, I've watched every season. It's interesting because, like, the first season was, if you watched it, was such a like very much like a underground YouTube kind of show, and like it looked like they did it in the back rooms of like a warehouse kind of thing, where they like, or like a theater, and they kind of like all got, anyway, it just was very like, they all got ready together, which I guess they all get ready together now, but like it was very dark. And I mean, not like, the show is dark anyway and scary, but they all got it just, they all got ready doing this kind of stuff. But I have to tell you, like, I was telling Alex this, because I was like, you should watch it with me, you would like it, we could watch it together. He was like, I don't think that's my thing. And I said, you're just scared about like they're called extermination challenges, so they don't do lipsticks, they don't do lip sync for your lives like the final two, they do extermination challenges. But since this is called Clash of the Titans, it's like an all-star season kind of. They like a RuPaul's all-star season, but it's Dragula. They're not doing extermination challenges, but they're like at the end of them, they're doing it at the beginning of them, and so then those people get to pick like how the challenges go. So they're still doing them, but it's in a completely different way, and it's so cool. And the one from last night was they had to bob for apples. And I was telling Alex this, he's like, yeah, I couldn't watch it, it's so gross. He's like, ooh, gross. Because I shouted up to him, I was like, guess what the because I was sitting watching it on my iPad down in the living room, and I said, guess what the extermination challenge is? And he goes, what? And they had to bob for apples in like real blood, and it was like fish guts and like a pig's head and all this gross stuff. So anyway, but I only made it like half, the show, the first episode is like an hour and 35 minutes, and I only made it like halfway through the episode. I started getting so tired while I was eating. So I went upstairs at like 11 o'clock, and I set my alarm for like 12:15, because I wanted to finish Dragula, and I wanted to finish The Patient. Well, I woke up before my alarm went off, and I was like so cozy and so warm, and I turned the lights off when I laid down to go to sleep, and I was just so cozy and in bed and whatever, and Alex was still watching TikToks. And so I turned my alarm off, and I was like, I'm just going to bed for the night. And so I've been doing that like a lot lately, and so I slept through the night. Okay, and this is why I don't. And I woke up, and I mean, woke up at 6 a.m. and I was wide awake. I mean, wide awake. And it wasn't even light outside yet. So I took Boo Radley out, boobs. I took the boobsters outside, and he did his poops and his peeps and stuff like that. And then I took him back inside and got him all snuggled up in bed. He was so cute, because Alex's pillows were like this. Like, we each sleep with 2 pillows. And so his pillows were like this, and mine was like, one was like, so there was like 3 or 4 pillows, and they were all kind of like, and Boo Radley like somehow got himself in between all these 4 pillows and was like this. It was so cute. Oh, I'm uploading a video on my phone. I wish I wasn't, because Boo Radley has been doing this thing where he like, so after like I make the bed and I like get ready to I make the bed and then I get ready to go film videos, Boo Radley and I like to spend like 15 or 20 minutes with him on the bed and just kind of like snuggle, and he lays on his side, and I talk to him, and I rub his like stomach and his chest and stuff like that. And so whenever like he's laying on his side, he like, then he'll flip. It's so cute. And I'm like, do a flip, Boo, do a flip. And so he flips. Well, I filmed it today. He did 2 flips, and I filmed it for Alex, and I was like, I'm gonna send it to your dad. And so I send it to Alex, and Alex is like, I love him so much. But anyway, so Boo and I always like just like lay there. So we lay there for like 15 or 20 minutes, and I talk to him, and like, you know, just spend special time just talking to Boo Radley. But so I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was like wide awake, took Boo out, got Boo inside, and then I was like, should I try to go back to bed, because I had set my alarm. I mean, I really can't do anything because Alex leaves between like 9 and 10, so until then I can't really film or do anything like that, because he's still asleep, and so like our whole place is open. So, and I knew I had therapy at 1, so I was like, okay, well, maybe when Alex leaves, I'll try to get up and get some videos done. So I pulled out all this crap food. I had the chips and the 2 things of cheese, the pepper jack cheese. 2 things or 1 thing? Anyway. And then I bought glazed donuts too from the gas station. These like glazed donut holes. from the Shell Station Kmart is what it's called, or Shell Mart or something. I got these glazed donuts. They were so good too. And I didn't think they would be fresh, and they were so fresh. But anyway, so I sat there in the living room and I watched, because I wanted to do a review of the TV show The Patient. So I watched the last episode of The Patient, which was like 46 minutes long, which was interesting because like all the other previous episodes were like, I noticed last week's was like 35 minutes, but previous to that, like the other 8 episodes were like 25 to 30 minutes, not even 30 minutes long. They were like 25 minutes, 24 minutes, 26 minutes. They were like short. So I watched the final episode today. Not impressed, but you can go watch my review if you want to hear what I have to say about it. I was not impressed. That's all I'll say. And then I was watching just some random like YouTube videos about stuff. I can't remember what I was watching. What was I watching? I wanted to tell you guys about it. It was something that somebody posted. I can't remember. Anyway, there was something I wanted to tell you guys that I was watching on YouTube because I thought you guys might be interested in it. Now, I mean, it made such an impact that I can't even remember what it was. But anyway, so that was at like, by that point, it was like, I don't know. I don't even know what time it was. But I went back to bed and I was like, okay, I'm going to lay down for a little bit. And until like Alex is gone. Well, right as Alex was getting up, I like fell deep asleep. Because Alex was asking me, he said something about, he was like, you took Boo out? And I said, yeah, he doesn't need to go out, probably. And he goes, did you give him his medicine? And I was like, oh no, I didn't. I forgot to give him his medicine because I didn't want Alex to double it up. Like if he didn't talk to me and then he would like double his medicine because he didn't know. And so I said, no, I didn't want you to double it up. And he goes, oh, okay. And, so, but then I like fell completely asleep and didn't have my alarm set or anything like that, and like woke up. I had one alarm set like on, and then didn't wake up until like 11:30 or something like that, right? So then I got up and washed my face, brushed my teeth, did some stuff in the bathroom, and the bedroom straightened up a little bit, and tried to figure out what laundry I wanted to do. And I feel like we just have continuous laundry. Do you guys ever feel like that? You just have like, it's like never-ending laundry. We have like towels and just, you know, well, we have tons of towels that need to be folded, and then more towels that need to be washed. And then we have, like, at any given time, like if all of our towels are clean, well, we probably have like 20 like nice bath towels that we just stack up in the bathroom, and then like 20 like face and hand towels in the bathroom that we have all these places for. And so like all of that stuff needs to be like either washed or folded. Either needs to be folded or washed and folded. So that, and then sheets, and you know, it just is ongoing, whatever. The one thing I don't have to wash right now is clothes because I've been keeping up on that. But so did all that kind of stuff, and then but I took Boo out and then did that stuff, and then that's when he and I like kind of like hung out in the bed for a little bit. And then I came downstairs and I made my, I talked on the phone for a little bit first, and then I looked up I was looking up different things I wanted to talk about on my drama channel. And then I made my drama video, and then like as I was uploading that, I made my review video of The Patient, and then like right after I got done with that, like I filmed that and then like turned right around and I was reading comments on my Peterisms channel because I just wanted to like pick a comment. Like I'm loving like just picking a comment and then responding to it. And so somebody commented on the Peterisms channel about struggling with being grateful. And I just thought that that was such a great topic because I think in theory, it's so easy to talk about like, oh, we should all be grateful all the time. And, you know, like being full of gratitude and all that kind of stuff. I think it's in theory like a good concept. and to preach gratitude, and you know I do, and I believe in gratitude, and I believe in gratitude as an action, you know, and all those kinds of things, or being grateful as an action. I think it's more difficult to stay, maybe it's more difficult to, I didn't say this in my video, but maybe it's more difficult to stay in gratitude, you know, to stay in being fully grateful for those things that we have. Like I use, you know, I was saying in my video that like, Tanya and I had this whole conversation last night on the way home about like, are most people when they wake up, like I'm not talking about like evil versus good, I'm talking about the average human being, right, in the world out there working a 9 to 5 and all that kind of stuff, you know, has a family and everything. Like, does the average person wake up like just really every day thinking, what positivity can I put out there in the world? What good can I do today? Like, what things can I, you know, accomplish? Like, how can I be a better person? How can I make the world a better place? And she was like, you know, she was like, I struggle, like, when I get up in the morning. She's like, I feel like it takes me work to get to that point. It takes me prayer and meditation. It takes me doing a gratitude list. It takes me, you know, and I said, no, I don't think that that's weird at all. Like, I feel like I'm the same way. Like, I feel like we have these tools and these skills to get there. But no, I don't think that's a normal, natural way to wake up in the world. I don't. And I think, you know, we often judge ourselves against that and thinking that that's a normal way to live the world, when in reality it's kind of not, you know? And do I think that I've met people that are kind of like angels on earth, so to speak, that I think are very calm and peaceful and serene and just are full of grace all the time, and they wake up and are very graceful, serene, good people? Yeah, I've met quite a few of those people. I wouldn't say tons. I'd say in my lifetime, a handful. Literally a handful. And I think that they are people that have kind of been born that way. You know, that have also been through a lot of tragedy and a lot of hardship. And I think it's in witnessing how they deal with it, you know, whether that's from a spiritual point of view, a religious point of view, whether it's just from a human point of view of how they deal with it, you know, that they, like, have you ever met somebody and, like, maybe at first, like, you just meet them through somebody, right? Like, and when you first meet them, like, they're just, like, super sweet and super nice, and you're like, oh, like, hey, how are you? And they're like, fine, and, like, what do you do? And, like, you know, you talk to them about, oh, I've got this many kids, and you do that, and where are you from? I'm from here, and whatever, right? And then it's like, and you really like them. And you're sitting there, and like maybe you're at a lunch or a dinner, you know, and you're like with a group of friends, and, you know, maybe like, I don't know, some kind of gossipy topic comes up, and you notice that this person doesn't really like engage in that at all. And like, maybe like if somebody says something to them, like, do you know, Susie Smith or whatever? And they'll say, oh yeah, I know Susie, like, you know, she's okay. Like, I don't really have, like, they don't really like engage in the negativity, you know? Because I think through the years, like, that's where I struggle, is like, even just in my friend group, is like engaging in like the negativity or whatever, like having an opinion, you know, about anything. But then, like, it's like, they're just like such sweet, calm people. And almost to the point where you think like they must just have the luckiest life. And then later you'll be like talking to a friend of yours, and you'll be like, I really liked her. Like, she was really nice, like, you know, and they'll be like, yeah, like, if you knew what she had been through. And you'll be like, well, what do you mean? And they'll be like, well, you know, like, her husband died, and I'm just making this up, but like, her husband died, and, you know, like, he was really, really sick, you know, for a long time. And then, you know, she had, you know, 3 kids under the age of 10. And, like, you know, he didn't have life insurance, so she had to go get, like, 2 jobs and to support her and her kids. And then, you know, like, she got cancer, and, you know, then it went into remission, but it's gone into remission twice. And, you know, then her parents died, and, you know, like, and then she and her kids were, like, kind of living from apartment to apartment, and they've just, like, she's really struggled. And then you think you know, you look at that and you think, okay, here's somebody that has really dealt with tragedy and turmoil in their life, and yet they meet it with such grace. That's who I want to be. That's who I want to be as a person, you know? And that stops me in my tracks, because what that makes me realize is it's possible. It's possible to be that person that can be so compassionate, kind, forgiving, and understanding, and you know, like, I don't know, I was like, I was showing Alex these, so this is kind of funny. Was this yesterday or was this the day before? Was this Monday night? I think this was Monday night. So somebody had posted, this is how I fall down the rabbit hole, okay? So this is changing topics, kind of. But somebody had posted on Twitter, this guy that I follow that I've known, like, when he lived here in Indianapolis, like, I knew him kind of, and so we followed each other. But he, like, posts, like, memes and GIFs and videos constantly. And always, like, interesting stuff, right? Funny stuff. And so he posted this clip, and it was, like, literally, like, a 30-second clip of, like, Whitney Houston, like, getting some reward and, like, what she said in the award. And so then I was, like, trying to look up that clip on YouTube of, like, where she had received. I wanted to see the whole clip of, like, everything she had said. So then from there, I was looking up, like, her singing different songs, and the song, what is the song that I love by Whitney Houston? I love it so much I can't even remember the title of it. Tried It On My Own, or Standing On My Own, or whatever. I love that song by her. And then I went into looking at videos of her singing I Will Always Love You, which is still to this day one of my favorite Whitney Houston songs. I'm a diehard Whitney Houston fan, if you guys don't know. Like, I love Whitney Houston. To the point where I will even forgive her for The Preacher's Wife, which was one of the worst movies ever. Okay, The Bodyguard, though, I mean, that does not play. The Bodyguard is, like, one of the best movies ever in the entire world, so, and one of the best soundtracks, if not the best soundtrack ever. Do you guys, it was like, I was watching this one thing when she was receiving this award, and it said, I don't know if this is still true to this day, but it said that it was the highest grossing soundtrack of like, ever, like, of The Body. I remember when The Bodyguard came out, because this is why I remember it, which is so funny, because, like, every drag queen in the world did, like, every song off of The Bodyguard. But it was, and I'm the queen of the night. Do you remember that song? It was such a good movie, though. Oh my god, such a good movie. But anyway, so then I wanted to watch the scene from Best Little Whorehouse in Texas when Dolly Parton sings the song, because I wanted to show it to Alex, of which he had no interest. So I watched that, and he was like, what is that? And I was like, it's this, whatever. And then from there, I, like, was just, like, searching and, like, looking, you know, at videos that were recommended, and she sang, Dolly Parton sang I Will Always Love You with Carrie Underwood. And so I listened to that. I have to say, Carrie Underwood's voice, who I like Carrie Underwood. I wouldn't say I love her, but I like her. I think she's pretty, gorgeous. I think her voice is real, ow. She's no Kelly Pickler. No, yeah, I like Kelly Pickler too, though. But anyway, Carrie Underwood, she's fine. And so she sings I Will Always Love You with Dolly Parton. And she does a great job. I mean, how could you sing sitting next to Dolly Parton, right? And, you know, how can you criticize that? But anyway, but she asks her in there something like, so what are you working on? Because I know you're busy. And Dolly Parton said that, and this is from, like, years ago. And she said, I'm working on, like, a musical of my life, like, growing up and stuff. And she says, well, who would you want to play you? And I think she's kind of, like, saying, like, oh, well, I'd like you to play me, you know? And Dolly does say, like, you know, like, the part hasn't been filled, so if you're interested, you know, like, we can get you, she said, we can get you some boobs and, you know, like, a wig and whatever. It's a cute moment, but Dolly says that she always thought that Kristen Chenoweth would play her so brilliantly, right? So right underneath that, or, like, a video or two down, was recommended Kristen Chenoweth singing I Will Always Love You. I love Kristen Chenoweth. I love her as a storyteller. I just love everything about her, her essence, and I love her voice, most of all. So I hadn't heard her sing this version of it. It's beautiful. I said brilliant already, but I would say that had I not just said that. It's beautiful. It's absolutely, I mean, it's haunting. I was going to say ghostly. It's haunting how beautiful it is, right? So I watched that, and then I was like, well, what videos do I like? Because I was, like, kind of getting moved emotionally. And so I was like, what videos do I like to watch that really move me emotionally on YouTube? This is what I watch on YouTube. What videos do I like to watch that move me emotionally? Women winning Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars, okay? I've watched them all. Like, literally, I think from the past 20 years, I've watched them all. Most of them I saw, like, watching them live when they happened, but I love watching them all. So I was searching them up, and I searched Julia Roberts because she's kind of typically the one that I always go to because I love when she like puts her dress. It stopped, and then my camera moved. But I searched the Julia Roberts one for Erin Brockovich when she wins for Erin Brockovich because I love when she puts her dress to the side and she goes, "Isn't my dress pretty?" I love that part because she just like, and the guy with the stick or the orchestra conductor, she's like, the guy with the stick, just sit down because I may never be up here again. I just love her speech so much. It's so genuine and from the heart, and I love Julia Roberts. But anyway, right underneath there was Sandra Bullock's, and so I watched hers, and Sandra Bullock. She wins for the, I'm going to start crying thinking about this. She wins for The Blind Side, which is like one of my favorite movies of life. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful movie. And so she shouts out to the Toohey family, who's the family that she portrays. And after she thanks everybody, she said, but this movie is really for, she thanks, well, first of all, she thanks. She says, I really want to thank all of the mothers out there that took care of the kids no matter where they came from. And then she says, she thanks her mother for never allowing her to ride in cars with boys because she knew much better than she did what she would do. For always making her, when she came home from school, do tap, ballet, dance, whatever. Because if she wanted to be somebody, she had to do these things. She says Helga B., her mom. And I just sat there and I watched it and I thought, we're so, like... So, I know so many people that have just horrendous relationships with their parents, you know? And I know that my mom she knew I loved her. And I know that my dad knows I love him too, you know, but... And I know that my stepmom knows that I love her, but I think sometimes the people in our life that are so giving to us, we don't really know, like, truly, like, I don't think we get it early enough. Like, I don't think we really know until later in life when it's much too late to say thank you, you know? Just to say thank you. You know, I think about the things that my mom said to me that were so wise, but I remember when I came out to my mom and she said she was scared for me. And I thought she meant about me, like, you know, being unsafe and getting AIDS. And she said, in 1990, you know, right on the heels of, you know, the AIDS crisis, my mom said to me with so much love in her heart, she said, we'll deal with that, if we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. She said, I'm talking about that society is not kind to gay people. And she said, always put your safety first. I'm scared for you, you know? And that's been something that I've always thought of, you know? Like, I've been in a lot of situations where, whether it's a gas station late at night or walking on a street by myself or whatever, that I just didn't, like, I knew that I probably wasn't, like, safe. And that wasn't the place to mouth off or be lippy or whatever, right? Not that I think that I deserve it if I had been, because I don't. I don't think because I stand up for myself or I defend myself that deserves any kind of violence. I don't believe that. I think that's a reality, but I don't think that I deserve that, you know? And I think about things that my mom told me, like when my friend couldn't come to terms with her religiosity of me being gay, and my mom said, you know, people hide behind religion because they're scared. It really helped me understand that. And I think even later, my mom was gone once she and I reconciled, and I think that that really helped me forgive my friend in understanding that my mom, as a religious person herself, that never stood behind religion because she was afraid and never used it as an excuse, and also didn't understand a lot of things that not her religion necessarily, but a lot of world religions believed in, about all different kinds of world issues, but, you know, being gay is one of them. You know, my mom, like, I think she would have wanted me to forgive her and to be able to accept her with love in my heart. And there's just so many things that my mom did, you know, like, I mean, even just down to the little letters in the lunchbox that made me not, in lunch bags that made me like not feel so all alone as a kid, you know. And I think about, like, you know, my mom's drinking was bad. I talk about that. Like, there was a lot, but there were also so many days that I came home from school. School was really bad for me. Like, I talk about being bullied, and I think we kind of like blanket statement that term, but like, school was really bad for me for many, many years. Like, I either like didn't have anybody to talk to, or I didn't trust the people that I talked to, or it was conditional because like they would talk to me but only when other people weren't around, or people were mean to me. And by mean, I mean everywhere from like pushing me into lockers, pushing me down halls, you know, tripping me, calling me names, and teachers included in that. Not, I mean, teachers didn't physically do anything to me, but like, teachers condoned it by not saying anything. So school never felt safe to me. So when I would come home, you know, and my mom would make me graham crackers with white frosting and ask me about my day, and even though I didn't want to talk about it, like, it made me feel safe. Like, that was a safe environment for me. And I'm thankful for that, you know? Were there the days that I came home that my mom had been drinking? Yes, there were those days. But by and large, most days were, home was a safe place for me. It felt like that, you know? For a long time. There were many years, I'm sure you could probably go back and find a vlog where I say home was not a safe place for me, because there were days that I felt like that. And when I go back to that memory, that's how I felt, you know? I think, like, memories are kind of contingent upon where we bookmark them, you know? It's like, if you remember a certain memory for a certain thing, it's like, that's what your feeling's gonna be when you go back to that memory, if that makes sense. But I don't know, my parents gave me, both my parents and my stepmom gave me so many pearls, you know, of, I remember when my grandma died. We had just gotten back from a ski trip. Like, for like a day or two, and we had taken, like, my dad's friend, his son went with us, and I remember, like, my dad got a call in the car, and this is back in the day when, like, the cell phones were, like, the very first cell phones, and were, like, old and whatever, and he was like, like, I remember him being, like, very silent on the phone, and, I remember when they dropped my, like, this friend, he wasn't really my friend, but this friend off at, that had gone with us skiing, off at his house, and my stepmom got out of the car with my dad, and, like, my dad talked to her for a second. Like, I remember when they got back in the car, and they were, like, silent the whole way home, and I can remember thinking something was going on, but I wasn't really sure what it was. This was my mom's mom, and she had had gallbladder surgery, and we got back to the house. I can see myself, like, so, my dad parked in the garage, and we're, like, walking inside, because, like, you know, the garage door goes into, like, the back, into the kitchen, like, the living, or it goes into this hallway into the kitchen, and my stepmom, like, she was in front of me, and she stopped, and, she said, "I want to talk to you for a second." And I said, "Okay." And I remember she just hugged me, and she said, "Sweetie," she said, your grandma passed away." And she said, "I know that she was really important." She was so sweet about how she said it, you know. And she said, "I know she was really, really important to you." And I just, like, started bawling. And, you know, one of the things that my stepmother always allowed me to be was just be myself. You know, like, she never, like, she'd always just let me be myself. And, God, I didn't expect today to get into this vlog and, like, cry so much. I don't know why I'm crying. I remember my dad after that, like, I went inside and I think I was supposed to be with him for a couple more days or something, and he said, like, my mom and my aunt and everybody were over at my aunt's house, and he said, do you want to go over there and be with everybody? And I said, yeah. And so my dad drove me over to my aunt's house. And that's when the shit show started. And I remember I walked in, and my mom and my aunt were sitting on the couch. They were just like zombies. And I found out very quickly that they had, like, were pretty intoxicated. Which is interesting because my grandma hated them drinking. And there were, like, all of these people in the house, like, running around, you know, putting casseroles in the refrigerator, putting food out. You know, my uncle was making calls, and Caroline was there, and it was busy. I remember it being very busy. And, but I wanted to be part of it. Caroline and I talk about sometimes how it's just the two of us now, you know? It's like so weird that it's just the two of us. I really don't know what I would do without her, honestly. Like, she called yesterday, or I called her, and she said, you didn't answer my text. And I said, what text? And she was like, my text about The Patient, first of all, the TV show. She was like, but you didn't answer my text about, like, what day we're getting together for Cousin Fun Day this week. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so we decided on Friday and what we're going to do and stuff like that. But I was like, you know, we're going over to her house on Halloween, and then we're going to go to Melissa and Jason's afterwards. And I just can't imagine my life without Caroline, you know? And I don't know, it just seems so weird that it's, hey, how are you?
Cold. Not ready for that?
Not ready. You know, we complain so much, I think, about, like, when it was just, like, my mom and I and my cousin and my aunt and uncle and, like, Mike, Caroline's husband, and David. It's like, I can remember saying to, like, my friends, like, even though, like, I was excited about Christmas or whatever, or, like, going over to Caroline's for, you know, Halloween for, like, chili or whatever, I can remember, like, saying to my friends, like, even sober, I would say it. I'd be like, God, I really don't want to go. Like, ugh, holidays. And I'd be like, oh, God. Oh, Thanksgiving, it's going to drive me crazy. You know, there would always be, like, 2 or 3 people there that were, like, extended, you know, family that, like, people would invite that, like, we didn't know very well. I'd be like, oh, God, I just don't want to deal with this person or whatever. And now that it's so small, you know, it's like Caroline sent out, like, this mass text about Halloween. And so she invites Alex's mom to everything now because she's just, like, you know, obviously part of the family. And so Alex's mom comes to, like, all the holiday stuff. And so she was, like, so excited about this Halloween party. And I am too. Like, I'm really excited about going, but yay.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
But I think about, like, all those years, I just kind of was like, God, I really don't want to do this. You know, and it had nothing to do with the people, really. It just was like, and I think we do that so much, right? Like, instead of just getting super excited, like, I wish I would have just gotten so excited about all those years, you know? Now I do that. Now I, you know, like, I buy the food and I get excited and, like, all that. I look forward to it. You guys know, I talk about it. I look forward to it, you know, 4 and 5 days up to that time, you know? And it's like, I wish I had just done that before. And now the people are gone. And you can't go back and change that, you know? And that would be, if you could take anything from what I've learned just in this vlog, what I would say is appreciate people while they're there, you know? No matter how many people you have, even if it's just 2 people or 1 person, you know, just appreciate them while you're there and get excited about them and do little things and make little notes and all this kind of stuff. You know, I wish I had done more of that through the years. I wish I had I don't know. I just wish I would have made all of that more special. Because it is. Those are the special moments, you know what I mean? Like, all of it's special, but those are the really cool moments. It is, like, really dark out here, you guys. I don't know if it seems that way to you, but it's like, over here it's like, well, you can't really see, but it's like really dark. So I'm going to get off here now. I can't even see, and it's probably completely blurry. But anyway, thank you for hanging out on the front porch with me for this very emotional vlog. I didn't expect for it to be so emotional today. I don't know what happened. Anyway, this was good. It felt cathartic. It felt really cathartic just to sit out here and talk about these things today, though. I feel kind of cleansed a little bit. And very grateful for you guys and my life and Alex and Caroline and Tanya and Valerie and Melissa and all my friends. And Melissa posted all of these videos of her dancing with Donnie Wahlberg on stage and all this kind of, she had such a blast at the New Kids on the Block cruise. So anyway, I'll talk about more about that some other day. But anyway, thank you for hanging out on the front porch with me tonight. It was really fun and really good and cathartic, like I said. And yeah, healing and calming and serene and all of that. So anyway, I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Wednesday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you want. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but shh, don't tell anyone. And 3, most importantly, make sure to reach out to I almost forgot it again. How do I say it every day and I almost always forget? Make sure to reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you, because you might just be changing their day. And on the heels of what I just said, it's really, really important to do that. So I'm going to go inside right now and I'm going to text somebody and say that I haven't talked to you and be like, hey, I was just thinking of you. How are you doing? So let's all do it right now. Pick up your phones and text somebody, just randomly. Pick up somebody that you haven't talked to in a while and text them and say, hey, I was just thinking of you. And just hope you were having a good day. So anyway, and also be kinder to one another, love one another a little bit more, and most importantly, be kinder and love yourself a little bit more, and a little bit more each and every day. Be kinder and love yourself a little bit more each and every day. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.